We please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Stephanie, can you do roll call, please?
Yes. Member Rivera will have an unexcused absence for the record, and Member Douglas will have an excused absence for the record. Chair Okendo,
Here.
Vice Chair Carney,
Here.
Member Lantry,
Present.
Member Grigsby,
Present.
and Member Alexander.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum, and all members will be voting this evening.
Okay. For opening business, has anybody had a chance to look over the minutes from the last meetings?
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Opening business today. Resolution number 2023-134R, DRCKCNU 23-00004.
Good evening, Commission. My name is Carol Cepeda, and I'm the Senior Planner in Community Development. I am presenting a conditional use for the Veterans Residential Program. This site is approximately 0.94 acres, and it's located on the southwest corner of 5th Street and Hamilton Park Circle. Staff is recommending approval, and the applicant is requesting approval of Resolution 2023-134R. This property is in the professional zoning district, and the future land use is private institutional. The total site acreage is approximately 0.94 acres, and the proposed conditional use is for a residential recovery center minor. The applicant is requesting that their conditional use from 2008, which is 2008-040-02, be amended from the originally approved 80 beds to increase to 95 beds. SDP 20-00040, transition house expansion, was done to expand the original site and to accommodate the additional beds. This was technically done to add 46 additional beds at that time, and the applicant is currently asking to expand from 80 to 95, so that would be only 15 additional beds. The transition house has an established parking waiver for all residents entering the center, and only the staff are allowed to park their vehicles on the site. The DCF license was provided to show the additional beds. You'll see here that here's the parking policy and the parking waiver that was provided to us from the applicant, and the policy that is given to the residents of the location, letting them know of that parking policy. Here is your current zoning map and your future land use map that's showing that you are private institutional. This is the site plan provided by the applicant. Here is the area that they are proposing for the addition, the expansion to be. The strategic goal is growth management, which is to create a vibrant, progressive, and diverse community through sustainable planning for all generations. Staff recommendation is approval of Resolution 2023-134R with conditions outlined below. A maximum of 95 beds and 95 residents are allowed at the facility. The maximum number of residents shall be limited further if required by per person space standards imposed, including but not limited to occupancy load and fire safety related restrictions by federal, state, or local regulatory agencies having jurisdiction over the transition house operations. 2, all residents will be inside the facility by 11 p.m., 7 days a week. 3, the facility shall house homeless veterans of the U.S. military and active duty U.S. military personnel that have been authorized for transition house program. 4, loitering, smoking, or other outside activities shall not be permitted south of the building, and this area shall only be used for parking and ingress and egress from the building. 5, All outside activities shall occur within the fenced area north of the building. 6, a vinyl fence 8 feet in height shall be constructed around the perimeter of the outside activity area. The fence shall be set back 10 feet from the west property line, and the fence shall be constructed as close as practical to the landscaped area along the north property line. The fence may be constructed along the east property line, but may be set back a maximum of 10 feet at the discretion of the transition house. The area outside of the fence on the west property line shall be landscaped with a type A buffer as defined in the Land Development Code. 7, the transition house shall be required to submit copies of reports and findings from funding agencies that periodically review the performance of programs offered at the facility. The transition house shall make other records available if necessary to verify compliance with conditions relating to the conditional use approval, submittal of documents protected by rights to privacy, or other federal and state laws, regulations shall not be requested or required by the city except to extend confidential information and can be redacted or removed from any such documents. 8, there shall be a minimum of 2 staff members at the facility and 1 administrative personnel on call 24 hours per day, 7 days a week. 9, upon the receipt by the city of more than 12 complaints within any 1 calendar year regarding activity at the site that result in an arrest by a law enforcement officer, the conditional use approval will be subject to reconsideration by the city council, and reconsideration may result in additional conditions or revocation of the approval. And this approval is for this applicant, the transition house only. Upon this applicant leaving the subject property, the conditional use approval shall expire. Staff is recommending approval of the resolution of 2023-134R with the listed conditions of approval, which was brought forward from the previous approval. And planning requested action approval of resolution 2023-135R with the listed conditions of approval is what we are requesting planning's action to be. The applicant is here for any staff questions when it comes to the conditions or anything else that has to do with this
Mr.
project.
Chairman, if I could just one clarification or just confirmation from Ms. Zepeda. In the 9th condition, in the memo report, there's an omitted word after calendar. For clarification, I thought you said, upon receipt by the city of more than 12 complaints within any 1 calendar year,
Yeah,
correct?
Yes.
Is what you're saying. So just confirming that for the record and for the commission in reviewing the
Yes.
the conditions. Thank you.
I want to mention number 8. It says 2 staff members and 1 administrative personnel on call 24 hours per day, 7 days a week. Should it not say that someone should be at the facility at any given time? Or that just means that somebody is available or on call, like if they need to?
so I have the applicant here. She would be able to clarify that more. That was brought forward from the original conditional use on there. I think that what they were trying to infer on there is that they would have someone who was a qualified staff member, and it wouldn't just be just any person there. That is why they say that it's a staff member at the facility.
So a follow-up question on your comment. So were all of these conditions copied over from the previous?
All of these conditions was brought over from the previous condition.
Okay.
We had a conversation with the applicant to make sure that she could provide to us that they were meeting those conditions, which she has brought with her, and they are being met. It is something that is given to the residents.
Okay, thank you.
Would
you like
the applicant like to come up and speak? Please state your name and address, please.
Sure, it's Melissa Lucas, 1215 Beth Lane, St. Cloud 34772. Just to answer your question, so it is 2 staff members at the facility and 1 administrative on call.
I see.
So our director is on call 24 hours a day, but we always have a minimum of 2 staff members there overnight and at all times.
That's what I felt like it should have said in the text, but I was
Right.
a little confused.
Right, but that is true. We do abide by that.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome.
And the clerical will be from 8 to 5, or what'll be the hours in that one person?
The on-call, is that what you're asking about? He generally works Monday through Friday. He's usually there until about 7 p.m. That's the director. The assistant director works kind of an opposite schedule, so he's a lot of times there until midnight. But they do work 5 days a week. Those are just the overseers, but we have a whole staff of direct care. Those are the 2 that are going to do the overnights and be making sure that there's at least 2 of them at all times. And then we have a whole clinical team of folks that work kind of rotating schedules as well. So there's always at least 2 people there, generally more than that.
Any other questions from the committee?
I just have one more question. The proposed additional building that you'd like to have there, do you have the plans enough space for the number of beds and the occupancy that you're looking for?
It's a great question. So yes, we actually built the building. There was an additional building that kind of got off the ground in 2021. We got some money from Health and Human Services, and it would allow us to properly isolate should there be any kind of an outbreak of COVID at the time. So the building has been open, and what we did is just spread everybody out. And now we've renovated the inside of the older building. So technically, that new building could have added 45 beds to our capacity, but we're licensed through DCF for 95. So at this time, and for the foreseeable future, just keeping staff levels at the same as where they are. We're really only looking to just max out that DCF so we can help 15 more people in the community in that program.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Not a question, but a statement, because we, because of my personal relationship with the parish and with the, what they do over there, it is a great facility. So I just kind of want to, for the record, say that they do a lot of great service, and being so near it often, I think they definitely have the capacity for that additional beds, and it really does help our community a great deal. I applaud what you all do over there.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks.
We'll be closing now and opening for public comments. Any public comments, please? No public comments for closing. Any other questions amongst us? If not, can I have a motion?
I would like to make a motion to recommend approval of oh, wait, am I doing the right one? Resolution CNU 23-00004/2023-134R, based on the 6 factual matters within the Land Development Code and along with the conditions requested by staff.
I'll second it.
First, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, it passes. Okay, next case will be DRC case number CNU 23-00006, resolution number 2023-135R.
Hello again, Commission. Carol Zepeda, Senior Planner, Community Development. I am presenting a conditional use for Our Savior Christian Classical School, a conditional use. This site is approximately 2.46 acres, and it's located north of East Earl Bronson Memorial Highway, west of Dean Street, and east of Hickory Tree Road. The applicant is requesting approval of resolution number 2023-135R, and staff is recommending approval. This property is zoned R1B, which is single-family dwelling zoning, and the future land use is low-density residential. R1B requires for a private school to apply for a conditional use, and the facility would have no adverse impacts on city facilities. This is a zoning map that's showing the R1B current zoning and your future land use of low-density residential. Here is the conceptual plan. This conceptual plan was approved at that time. This was Osceola County. So this was approved in 2014 with Osceola County with these modulars already for the church. They are just asking in this conditional use for this modulars to be used for private school use. Strategic plan goals, growth management to create a vibrant, progressive, and diverse community through sustainable planning for all generations. Staff is recommending approval of resolution 2023-135R with the following conditions. 1, clearly depict parent pickup and drop-off locations through appropriate pavement, signage, stripping, and parking. And 2, provide an opaque fence on the northern and eastern property lines. Planning Commission requested action is approval with the conditions of resolution 2023-135R. Staff is available for questions, and the applicant is here available for questions also.
My first question is this on the same side of the road as the Wawa,
Opposite side of Wawa.
opposite side of the road?
It's next to the storage facility.
Oh, okay.
Into the, which storage facility?
So
That green
here's
one.
the church, and then
Yeah.
to the left-hand side, there's a storage facility. There's a wall that separates them. And that's right in front of the Wawa. I'm sorry?
On the opposite side of Hickory
Opposite side.
Tree.
Actually, next to the
Hickory
wall.
tree.
Opposite side of Hickory Tree,
Yes.
okay. Okay, so my question is going to be, has there been a traffic analysis done? Because I know that that is where the, right, the altar church does. the-
Correct.
And I know there becomes quite a bit of a backup there on certain mornings, so has that been addressed?
So they have been asked when it comes to the movement of the property and then the amount of students. The state will give them their approval based on the amount of students that they can have based on the parking and that overall modular space. I did not get a transportation analysis for this specific one. Usually when we do ask for that traffic analysis, it's done in an SDP level, which they already have an approval for this SDP, for this modulars, and for the site, how it's actively being used.
Okay, so it doesn't really relate to what this building in itself, it just might be an awareness
Well,
of.
so those modulars, when they were approved by Osceola County, they were approved as classrooms in 2014.
Okay,
Oh, boy.
okay.
I can't imagine that they would be able to fit that many students in there.
Well, it's not so much the students thing, it's the traffic
It's the
thing.
traffic.
That back when they approved that, that's my kind of question and concern, is back when they approved that, no problem. Was the altar church doing the 200 or 300, da-da-da-da? So that's where I'm kind of just saying,
Well, definitely, the applicant is here, and
Yeah, I
I know that
figured
they
we
have
might
had a
have to ask
school
about
there
that.
before, so they'd be able to speak more further on what that traffic looked like before then, because they have had a school in that location before.
Yeah.
So they'd be able to give you a better feeling of what
and
the
they may
traffic
already
looked
be
like in that
talking about that,
timeframe.
because I'm definitely aware of that.
Yeah,
what
and
they
I
do
did,
there, which
and
is
I
a
did
great
go out
thing,
and I
so-
did visit the site to see how the roundabout went on there, and they have a very wide roundabout cul-de-sac where you can double up the vehicles in that sense, in that location, so.
Let's give them a
Yeah,
chance.
I've been in
to-
this church, there's a lot of parking there. There's a lot of area.
It's not the
and-
parking gang, it's the
The traffic on
one time,
192.
there's
Yeah,
a traffic
understood.
point in time when people line up to get the.
To pick up the students.
Pickup, well, not the students, it's the pickup on a Friday morning of the bags that they give, the pantry
The food
of what
drive.
they're giving, and it backs up onto 192 now. But I think they're probably aware, so let's let them
Sure,
address that. 'cause I
Probably a
bet no
lot more
problem.
people than they'll have for the school.
Well, exactly, but then again, we're talking about a Friday morning when schools drop off, so it might be two different things. I may be barking up the wrong tree, but it's a
Hey.
question.
I'm Michael Butler, I'm the pastor. If you have
Welcome.
questions, when it comes to the traffic,
glad.
normally they try to keep an eye on it. And when it starts reaching from the church parking lot to the street, normally we'll start early to give the food away so that it doesn't back. I think they're pretty much keeping it from getting to 192 these days. But they normally, then they'll start early and then people start going through and then, and then we keep the traffic from getting too terrible, so.
So the school's going to be earlier hours probably than what that lineup is going to be anyway, too, right?
They'll be done before the school's done, as far as when we
Yes.
give the food.
And both,
We're
and they will
normally
be in
done
school before.
Monday and Friday is 12 to 2. Now, Wednesday would be the time, because I'm not sure what time you get out on Wednesday. 1 o'clock. So, yeah, they'll be done long before we start on Wednesday, so. Wednesday, we start at 3:30 to 5:30, as far as giving food away.
How many students do you plan on having at this school?
Your turn.
Just on average, I mean, or maximum, I guess.
We were thinking 25 to 50.
Okay, ma'am, for the record, can you please both state your name and addresses, please?
Yes, my name is Donna Sexton, 314 Pineland Court, Apartment A, St. Cloud, Florida, 34769, and I am the principal of the school.
Hi, Deborah Gum. I'm sorry. 1009 East Lakeshore Boulevard, Kissimmee, Florida, 34744. And I'm one of the teachers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I never gave my address. I'm at 400 Wisconsin Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida, 34769.
Thank you.
You may proceed, sorry, that was just for the record, so we could be clear. Any other questions for them?
No, if you all don't think that that's going to be a problem or a collision because of the thing, then that was my only kind of question and concern and observation.
Okay,
Any questions from this
thank you
side?
very much.
No further questions for them?
I don't have anything.
We'll be closing the floor. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Be opening it for public comments, if any. No public comment. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Brenda Dendall.
You got to do it at the mic, please.
Hi. I don't like speaking in public. My name is Brenda Dendall, 1190 Dean Street, so my property is adjacent to the church. I have safety concerns. Traffic is an issue. I see it every day. Cars are lined up. I mean, I want the church to be successful. I want the school to be successful. But I don't think Hickory Tree can handle any more traffic. And then my other question is, I'm not sure what an opaque fence is. Isn't that?
That's a fence that you can't see through.
Okay,
Opaque just means that it's solid.
okay. I was thinking invisible. I was.
Not
okay.
invisible, it's just solid, you
That
can't.
was- The fence is great. I mean, that was one of the issues my husband and I had talked about. We have a lot of people who don't have homes in the area. Safety's an issue. We don't know the history of those people. One of my neighbors commented that there are some people living on the property. There's 3 in between the trailers living right now? In between your trailers or your modules? Clayton told me that today. I'm sorry. I really don't want to cause problems. The safety of the kids is the number one issue. And of course, we want to keep our neighborhood nice, but, so that was my concern. And traffic is a concern there. It's backed up. I come home from work at 3:30 in the afternoon and it's lined up. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, can you please fill out a form?
Ma'am.
Ma'am, there's a form you'll need to fill out to submit to the clerk. Thank you very much.
Can I speak to the safety or no?
Yes, ma'am, you could answer the question.
Thank you, Brenda, for bringing that to our attention. So regarding the safety of the students, okay, so we have the portables. They do make like a horseshoe shape. And then when you go to the end of the portables, there's a fenced-in playground that the students would use. Also, Donna has 20 years teaching experience. She's also been an administrator in Virginia. I have 25 years teaching experience. We have been through extensive safety trainings with St. Cloud Police, Kissimmee Police, Osceola County Police. We have, I know Donna at a previous school was part of the safety committee where they had to come up with a plan, and dealing with the homeless population is something that is addressed in all of those safety plans that you have to have for every school. And so we would definitely have a safety plan in place of exactly, we will cooperate between St. Cloud Police and Osceola County Sheriff's Office in the steps we would need to do if somebody did come on the property that was, say, homeless, or God forbid, there was another sort of emergency. So, and I'm sure Pastor Michael also has plans in place too, so thank you.
Ma'am, just state your name one more time for the record.
Sorry. Deborah Gum.
Thank you, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other public comments? Okay, we'll be closing public comments. Any other questions amongst us, or would you like to?
Just, I guess, the statement is that the school and what they're trying to do there and all of that is just a little bit separate than the traffic issue. So that's why I think that was more of a curiosity and something that we deal with everywhere in St. Cloud now. But yeah, just a point of information or thought.
So can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to know what the ages of the students are going to be at for the 50 students, 25 to 50. And then if is the property where the portables are, is it totally enclosed as other schools are all fenced in entirely and secured that way?
Okay, well, can you repeat the question one more
I'm
time?
sorry, it was two questions. The first
Yeah.
was the age of the
Mr.
students.
Mr.
that'll be
Alexander, if you could
attending.
just speak a little bit into the microphone, thank
The
you.
age of the students that'll be attending, what What
Okay,
grades are
the
you
ages
serving?
will be kindergarten through sixth grade as of right now. Hopefully later on, we can add seventh and eighth, and maybe later we'll talk about the other stuff. But, and your other question was?
The other question was, is the entire area where the children are secured with a fence?
There is a fence in the, you want to answer this one, Michael?
Go ahead and identify yourself.
Michael Butler, pastor. We do have fence around the back of the portables. The front of the portables is not fenced. There's just a ramp that kind of goes up to where the school is. So the fencing areas, normally it's like an area where the kids will be, outside. That place is fenced. But as far as for the classrooms, to get to the classrooms, it's not fenced.
All right.
I mean, we probably could put a gate there or something, but right
I
now
would
it's not.
just, typically what I've seen through all schools is everything is, even daycare centers,
Fenced
it's
in.
all enclosed.
But I think it's sometimes public schools, there's a ruling there, but I don't think private schools are required to have a fence around it.
And might I say, we'll be inside the modulars most of the time anyway, other than 20 minutes for recess. So, yeah.
What is the other, I noticed these two are highlighted. What is the other modular going to be used for that's there?
They're both for classrooms.
Oh, I mean, I thought there was a third one that says existing.
Well, we're only using 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. This is one of those areas where it's like, there's a lot of city mixed in with county. And this road is needed to be upgraded for many, many years. There's deep ditches on each side. There's no sidewalks.
Yes, we have the.
I mean, none of that is the fault of
the school.
anybody here, that's our county, but
Are they looking at putting a traffic light at the end of the street where you either make it to 10th to the right or 10th
I
to the
don't know.
left?
I don't know how much that would
That
affect
would
this. I
be-
think,
That would be county, that would not be this school
It would
system.
help out.
a turn lane into it would probably be very beneficial, but anyway.
We have any other questions? If we do not, will I get a motion either way?
I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of resolution number 2023-135R based on the 6 factual matters within the Land Development Code.
With the conditions
With
recommended,
With recommended
the
conditions.
2 recommended conditions. Yes, thank you.
Sorry, what were the conditions again? Oh, just these
There was
two, right?
the-
Yeah.
The
the-
clearly depict parent pickup and
Correct.
opaque fence.
And the
Okay.
fence, correct.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes.
Passes 5-0. Recommendation of approval, 5-0. Okay.
Okay, Ms. Stephanie, the floor is yours.
Yep, our next meeting is August 15th at 6 PM.
Okay. Can I get a motion for adjourning?
So moved?
Have a second?
I'll second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Not that mine counts, but